It was his sign that he was with her, watching over her, and a sign that everything was going to be okay. Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a great day or evening, whatever time you're watching this. It's me, Patricia. If you don't know who I am, I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium who's been doing readings since I was a teenager, literally decades now. When I learned how to read tarot cards and palms when I was like 12 and 13. And then astrology and all that fun stuff after. But anyway, I just have a quick story to tell. As you can see, it's raining, so I'm going to really be motivated to try to be quick here. So I got this awesome message from one of my repeat clients the other day to validate things that came up in her most recent reading. It's pretty normal for me to get messages from people after their reading telling me all of the signs that came true, and after they talked to other family members, like all of the details in their reading about past loved ones that they didn't know very well when they asked another family member who's still alive. Things will be validated from their reading, things that they didn't previously know about that loved one. But the other day I received a message from a repeat client who recently got a reading because one of her friends' daughters became very ill, and the doctors, it was a mystery. They were baffled by what she had, what the cause of her illness was. So in the reading, the spirits told me what was going on, that there was a major infection of some type. They gave me the specific name of it. I won't say, just so I can, try to protect the people's identity who I'm talking about. So she got a reading because she was worried about her friend's daughter. She had been in the hospital for several days by this point, and so the spirit said that there's this major infection that was creating a cascade effect in all the systems of her body, and what would happen if they didn't treat it would get worse. Again, the future's not set in stone. We have free will. We can still change things. So the spirits will give us tips, I guess, to avoid bad things, or to go down a better path for ourselves, especially with health things. We can always improve health issues especially if we know what's going on. In this case, it was a mystery. And so a loved one that came through in another reading pertaining to this, because it did briefly come up in a previous reading, everything was validated with him when she went to go talk to her friend, after her friend said, yes, that's totally him. He loved this and this and this. My friend didn't know these personal details about this loved one on the other side, if that makes sense. So he came through again in this reading, and they said once they figure out what it is, or they go down this path, and they'll figure out right away when they test for it, she's going to improve and she'll be better. There was still a lot of hope that she was going to improve. They just needed to figure out what it was. And he said to look for a sign of a Care Bear. And Care Bears was I grew up in the 80s, so I grew up watching the Care Bears, but I forget a lot about it. But it was the Care Bear specifically that had a rainbow on its chest, and I was I don't know what that means. And she's yeah, I wouldn't know either, because it's my friend's daughter. I don't know everything about her. I'll ask my friend. And but he told me that to watch it because it was a signpost, that it would be a sign that he would bring down her path for her. That's a very common thing in readings. The spirits, they do want to give us a sign of their presence and that they're always around us. And so it is very common in my readings for them to show me something that will come up and down somebody's path to give them validation that they're with them. So he showed the Care Bears, and then just the other day she wrote me, and she did have a major infection once they tested her for this particular bug that the spirits clairaudiently told me. I heard them use the word in the reading, and they wrote, they'll write things on a chalkboard or words on a chalkboard for me. In a reading too, I'm clairvoyant and clairaudient, so I see and hear. And so sure enough, she had this infection, and all of the body systems that came up in the reading, that it would create a cascade effect with, the doctor said that's what happens with this infection. So they caught it, and she was being released from the hospital that day. And that morning, the Care Bears came up on her For You page. And then the nurses, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Please stop it. So the Care Bears came up on her For You page, and then the nurses that morning gave her a Band-Aid. I think must be for her IV or something like that. And it was a Care Bear Band-Aid, and it was the Care Bear with the rainbow on his chest. So her loved one on the other side, it was his sign that he was with her, watching over her, and a sign that everything was gonna be okay. Okay, I'm gonna go because I'm crying too much and I feel kind of silly now. It's a good thing I'm doing this before most people are awake.